We're talking about the brilliant event. But first I'm making a cocktail. So nerve-wracking. Nope. Brilliant events. Here's the dealio. I was incredibly harsh on Niantic for the 12 Days of Christmas, 12 Days of Hogwarts, repetitive song, Christmas song event. I kind of lost track of things. That's totally great. But the thing that they get right are the freaking brilliant events. Not gonna beat around the bush. The brilliant events clap. Just saying. Hey there everybody, my name is Zoe, this is Snitches and Witches, and today we're gonna talk about the brilliant event. This is part 2. I didn't manage to get my part 1 up, so we'll just really quick wrap up part 1 of the brilliant event from the beginning of the month. So basically, we get another surge. Harry's not around. They're like, this appears to be Harry's memory, so it's probably him. Oh wait, here's an extra spicy twist. There's a muggle reporter named Brice Badeaux. He's leaking all the information, letting it all be known. He published part 1 in a series of exposés. Guy apparently managed to collect enough evidence that a 2,000-word blog post was not enough to contain his ire. The guy is gonna milk that content for all it's worth. He's gonna get his writing commission because being a freelance writer is hard. It actually is. I occasionally, and I mean very occasionally, write for the Hub, and God, I don't know how Brita does it. So go give some love to Brita over at Witches Unite and over on the Hub, because what? He's apparently on the run now, and he's doing his own thing and like just trying to stay out of the way. So Edward Scott for the statute of secrecy. I haven't had that much gin. It's not enough to make me stumble and stuff. Ooh, it's just. Do you see this foam? Do you see this? Do you see how pretty that is? Earl Grey martini. Oh. It is now Wednesday, January 27th, and I am barely past the second page, which means I need to hustle. I need to hustle big time. So I gotta get more coffee, apparently. I timed this very poorly because it's time to get the boys started at school. But we're gonna place these stickers real quick. Marauder's map, my golden egg, even moaning myrtle. There's no doubt this surge is made up of my memories from the Triwizard tournament. I even feel like I usually do when a found bowl torn from me is returned. But you have no memory of actually manipulating the Calamity. I agree. No, though I may have done it subconsciously. Given how strong my connection is to the Calamity, it's not outside the realm of possibility that I could have started a surge without even realizing it. You have been under a lot of stress and pressure lately. I wouldn't be surprised if that played a role in this. You're probably right. In fact, I'm sure of it. So why does something inside of me keep screaming that this is wrong? Moaning Myrtle. Oh, good. Our elusive reporter has released another expose. This time he describes witnessing a woman free a ghostly-looking young girl from a gigantic glass jar with a magical explosion. And once again, he has photographic evidence. I don't understand. How do trained SOS task force agents not notice a muggle with a camera taking pictures of them? Especially now, when the whole department is on high alert. The witch in the photographs assured us she took all the necessary precautions before confronting the trace, but there's always the possibility that, out of fear or shame, she's not being entirely honest. One thing is clear, something is off here. Maybe he's not a muggle. I don't know. What's to say that the unspeakable don't have agents masquerading as muggles with knowledge of the wizarding world, specifically to expose the wizarding world. If that's their goal. All right, throwing on the master notes. I think that's 4 of 6. We got a little more ways to go. So 1 more runestone and 2 more potions. So gonna go do schoolwork with the kids and grind these out. I think that Brice is an unspeakable, and I think that he's a wizard, and he's just lying low. He's a muggle-born wizard undercover. All right, it is 2:30, almost 2:40 in the afternoon. We have 3 images to place, so that'll get us well on our way for the 5 images for the page 4. We did finish page 3 and page 2. Took me a hot minute, but we got there. It's done now. Now, gotta place this egg first to get good news, French ministry officials apprehended Brice. One of our SOS Task Force agents witnessed a muggle investigating a golden egg foundable in Nice. When she tried to confront him, he fled with the egg. Brice managed to escape, but his curiosity got the better of him. He opened the egg, and soon the screech emitted betrayed his hiding spot and led our agent right to him. We certainly dodged a bludger there, didn't we? Though frankly, I'm surprised it took this long to find him. It was difficult to understand how he was able to observe our agents without drawing notice. It's even harder to believe that he managed to escape an agent in active pursuit. He had help. French ministry officials apparently found an invisibility cloak in his possession. What am I saying? The unspeakables want this to happen, and so they're helping him. He must have stumbled upon one in a trace and put it to good use. That explains. If you can get past the confoundables, are you telling me that if you can get past the confoundables, then that thing becomes corporeal? Is that what you're trying to tell me here? No, I don't like it. I'm not, no. I can't with that information. That explains why he went unnoticed, but now he's able to find so many. How was he able to find so many traces in the first place? Was it really just dumb luck or something else? Look, a tiny fragment of a note. I know you don't recall creating the surge, Harry, so what about this? Do you recognize it? No, and unless my habit of sleep talking has developed into sleep writing, I don't remember penning any notes either. Totally makes sense. You have PTSD, Harry. Then where did this come from? I'm gonna take a wild stab at it and say, no, we're good, Connie. I'm just gonna recap. We got Brice. His brain hasn't been unscrambled. Are we I really hope we're interrogating Brice Badeaux right now. He had an invisibility cloak, which means that somebody's helping him, and or he managed to get past a confoundable and snag an invisibility cloak, which means that the foundables are corporeal. They have physical form. They're not just memories. They're not just shimmers or shadows or shimmer. This is super bad. Because this means that all they have to do is just make certain things come into existence, get past the confoundable and grab it. This means that what we're doing, sending confoundables back, literally means nothing. It literally means nothing. What have we been saying for the last 2 years? It literally means nothing. Are we adding to the problem, or are we just mitigating, putting a band-aid over a problem? I'd say that we're putting a band-aid over a leak in a pipe without knowing that 6 feet away in a wall, filling up between the drywall and our friggin' foundation is an entire valve from the main city line just exploding all over, and it's gonna burst through that sheetrock eventually, and you can see it, except you're just choosing to, that rushing sound doesn't exist. That's what we've been doing for the past year and a half. Good. I'm fine. I'm not spiraling. This is fine. Onward to page 4. More note pieces. Here we go. Constance, that's odd. Some of the note fragments we've assembled look scorched. Could this paper have been burned? Could it be? No, must be a coincidence. Did you put your name to the goblet of fire? That's what they're alluding to, right? We'll find out. Here it goes. A little bit more. We've managed to reassemble the entire note, but it's not insightful. All that's written on it is your name, Harry. I had my suspicions when you mentioned the note looks scorched, but now I'm certain. This is the scrap of parchment Barty Crouch Jr. used to enter me into the Triwizard tournament. How did this wind up attached to a foundable? It's been ages since you completed the Triwizard tournament. I doubt many people, other than yourself, remember that scrap of parchment even exists. Chances are it was probably you who sent it, right? Either that or someone's been rooting around in my head, peeking in at my secrets. Did you put your name to the goblet of fire? Good! Fantastic. Well, that's fun. They're looking for all sorts of things in there, Harry. I guarantee that they're gonna find it, and I think I know what they're looking for. What happened at the end of book 4? Anybody? Bueller? If you know what happened at the end of book 4, leave it in the comments. This is not good, guys. Okay, final note piece. Here we go. Let's see here. What does... Okay, collecting. There she is. Do we get more? Huh. Okay, that felt like the last piece of dialogue for that, and I wasn't wrong. So there's that. That's fun. Good deal. So there we go. I have a couple of theories revolving around this, and it actually goes back to the Marauders map dialogue from the same event where Hermione says, "You have no memory of manipulating the Calamity." Harry says, "No, though I may have done it subconsciously given how strong my connection is to the Calamity." Harry's trying to own up, being like, "Hey, it could be all my fault. I don't know. I'm not sure." And Hermione is just like, "Oh, you have been under a lot of stress. It's probably you causing all of these terrible things to happen." Thanks, Hermione. My current running theory is that Harry's playing right into their hands, and I don't think that they planned. I don't think that the Unspeakable planned on Harry to do this. I do, however, think that they are thoroughly taking advantage. They're like, whoa, heck. So the one guy who had more connection to Lord Voldemort than anybody on the entire planet, had a piece of his soul in his body for 17 years, is also connected to the Calamity. Huh. Let's use this. So they let him keep playing with the Calamity and start establishing, you know, instead of a one-way highway, now it's a two-way street, or well, one-way street, now it's a two-way street, and they can just... So, you know, because they know exactly who they're dealing with, it's easier for them to get into his brain than it is for them to get into theirs. Or for him to get into... It's not bad. It's real bad. I think that Harry played into their hand. Oh, this is really bad. I think that they're now using him. This is really bad. Okay, I have to... What do I have to do next? I need to sit here and run another Trace Tonic for the next 30 minutes. One more Trace Tonic for the evening before I have to run off and do my other things. And see you in a bit. Thank goodness it is 7 o'clock and I have finally finished the event. I haven't placed things, but I have, for all intents and purposes, finished the event. So, here we go. There's the images right there, but if we go to my registry, I have to hatch all these. I need to crack open all these port keys. I keep saying hatch. It's been 2 years. I still say hatch port keys. When I made Hufflepuff House, oh, we're getting more Connie backstory. when I made Hufflepuff House Prefect, I was sure, I have been convinced she was a Ravenclaw this entire time. I was sure of it. But now, as it turns out, she's a Hufflepuff. I don't know how convinced I am of all that, but yeah. When I made Hufflepuff House Prefect, I was thrilled that I'd be able to use the prefect's bathroom. I spent the whole summer leading up to my 5th year dreaming of the long, luxurious soaks I'd take come September. Unfortunately, I found it impossible to relax with this ethereal beauty snidely staring at me the whole time. I was so self-conscious, it was a nightmare. After that day, I made sure only to bathe while the mermaid was asleep. That is too much. We know she was definitely a Hufflepuff. We know that her people in her family have been Hufflepuffs. I am assembling my file on Constance. I have a page in my notebook which has all of my character files in it. This is that notebook. This is slowly coming together. This whole book. All right, cool. Now we get to go. What? Things are frozen. I also had a couple of random logouts earlier while in the middle of an encounter with a fox vulnerable. That was very, very odd. That was around 2 p.m. my time, so like 3 p.m. Pacific. Don't know if anybody had that problem too. I didn't see anything. I didn't check Discord though. I probably should have checked Discord. Okay, I know I have to go here, and then we're gonna get this, and then we'll hopefully get end of event. At first, I didn't understand why Hermione was so insistent that we stop these exposés as quickly as possible. Now I realize that the Statute of Wizarding Secrecy breach is like a leak in one of these faucets. It may seem insignificant at first, but every drop adds up. Let it go long enough and you're liable to wind up with a serious problem. Was I not just saying? It was a completely different metaphor, but I was talking about the Calamity itself. I'm gonna go get my tinfoil hat now. The SOS Task Force has put an end to the surge, and the Muggle reporter who exposed the existence of magic was found. So why don't you look relieved, says Harry. I should be relieved. We obliterated his memories of magic, penned an article in his name discrediting his previous claims, and confiscated his evidence. But his behavior while in custody bothers me. The way he acted, it was like he knew he was about to be obliterated. We always tried to question him, but he said that he warned me that you tried to stop me. Was it Max? You suspect someone within the wizarding community may have tipped him off. Yes, but who would willingly violate the international statute of wizarding secrecy? And perhaps, more importantly, why? Hello? The unspeakable. Hello? That's it. That's all they're gonna give me. This isn't yeet the phone across the room style revelations. Although I'm happy to find out Constance was a Hufflepuff. I can now assemble I can start putting together a psychological assessment of this particular person, and we can start figuring out what her propensities are. That is good. They caught Brice, which is interesting. He said that they'd try to do this. Obviously, this is somebody within the unspeakable. At least it's obvious to me. I don't know. I might be drawing a lot of assumptions. I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest that it is a member of the unspeakable. I think that just makes sense. Constance also said in one of the placements for things, I'm not mad at the reporter for trying to expose the existence of magic. If I were a muggle who just spotted blah, 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 blah. And then she says, this is strictly off the record. No, it's not. I record everything, Constance. But sometimes I wonder if we should continue to keep the existence of magic a secret from muggles. Don't misunderstand. I would never intentionally violate the statute of secrecy. Prove it. But muggles have come a long way since the witch hunts. Is it wrong for me to want us to all live together? Constance also then says that she has fancied Victor Crumb ever since the 2014 Quidditch World Cup, despite Christmas of 2018. 19. I don't know when I am. She specifically asked Ron Weasley who Victor Crumb was. She also did a "what are those?" at Ron, so I think she was just trolling Ron, which is mean. But now she admits to apparently being in love with him and is apparently going to cheat on her imaginary boyfriend Lucas Sparrowvale. I'm concerned. Right after that, Hermione Granger says that she's been taking French lessons from Fleur de la Cour and was interviewing one of the people who said that they had been in... She was interviewing one of the people who was in the photos that had been released by the Muggle publication, and he said in French, hoping that the translator wasn't going to say anything, but plot twist, Hermione knows French, because her sister-in-law's French. Sure. That apparently he couldn't be absolutely sure, and of course I have a blinky battery light. And then we found out that Brice was on the run, just, running away. Couldn't find him, which everybody was like, that's kind of weird. We gotta obliviate that guy. So that's where we left off last brilliant event. I'm gonna swap out my battery. Alright, so that was part 1 of the brilliant event dialogue anyway, and so this week I was pretty excited. I have been looking for an excuse to reprise one of the characters that we've had on the channel before, Max Credit Jewel, who is from the skit The Aurors Come to Call, and you should definitely go check out that video. The link will be in the description below, so you should go watch that. It's pretty good. Sam and I worked on that together, and it was pretty great. I really want to reprise that character, and Brice Badeaux brings up the perfect opportunity, so be on the lookout, kids. Really quick, we're going to go over the tasks for this event, so if you have not completed it yet, you can get an idea. So page 1 is fairly mundane. This is pretty much the exact same page 1 of a brilliant event that we've had for quite a while. You should be able to do this in no more than about 30 to 45 minutes. Really, my spawns were that frequent. Page 2, return 20 foundables. It's of any kind. Boom. Easy. You could do that while waiting for the last tonic for trace detection to wear off. Use master notes on potions 6 times. This has obviously replaced one of the past tasks that we have had, which is like brew 4 potions or brew 3 potions of any kind, or brew like these specific potions this many times, which is totally fine because we could have had those loaded up in the queue and you can just go, there we go, there's my 4 bitter root, thank you, I'm gonna go now. But they've swapped it out to slow us down, and I know why. It slows me down, I get it. And then collect 6 brilliant Triwizarding Secrets runes. This should not take you a super long time, so don't worry about that. It didn't take me very long. I think it took me maybe about 40 minutes or so. But the bonus for that is a dark detector. I don't need any more dark detectors. I'm not going out. You shouldn't go out. Stop giving me dark detectors now. Page 3, 5,000 Wizarding XP from challenges. This is Wizarding XP, which means, yes, you can throw on a Barufios and you will earn it twice as fast. And for that, you get a silver key, which I think is, God, I love silver key rewards in these events. They're my favorite. Defeat 15 foes in Wizarding challenges. That gives you 4 rune support. If you do like 5 Tower 5s, you should be able to get this done, boom, no problem. Return 15 brilliant moaning myrtles. This took me more time. This took me the better part of the day. Today, it's a little bit not great. 3 sonic simulos though for the 15 moaning myrtles. I'll take that. That's actually pretty great. Page 4 took me a little longer to get done, not gonna lie. 7,000 Wizarding XP from traces. That, I mean, you throw down a Barufios, you'll have it in no time. 5 images on the brilliant Triwizarding Secrets Wizarding page, which if you're trying to get the dialogue like me, this becomes a problem. If you haven't gotten to this point yet, don't place any more images. Obviously, don't do that, okay? 15 mysterious note pieces. This again, you throw on a couple of Barufios and you'll be able to scream through this. I think I did this in about like an hour-ish, so, And then boom shakalaka, all of that was done. I think the 5 images is the one that hung me up the longest. The other thing that hung me up the longest was I didn't throw on my port keys until page 3, and so I had to run around and let them crack open while I was cooking dinner. Let's talk dialogue from this event. Harry is back, Constance is happy. Warsaw was a bust. Poor Harry, he apparently went to Warsaw, which I appreciate that nod to World War II and the Spies in Warsaw. I think that's great. Also, Spies of Warsaw is a fantastic BBC miniseries that you should definitely check out because it's David Tennant as a spy in Warsaw. I shouldn't have to say anything else other than that, otherwise we can't be friends. Constance fills in Harry, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, oh, we've had to devote all our resources to locating him and preventing him from exposing and keeping all traces of your surge away from Muggle eyes, because they're still assuming that this is Harry's surge. And then Harry's like, wait, I haven't done, this is not my surge. And my reaction was... I thought that the last event had been Harry's because the last few events have been Harry's, but no, the Christmas or the December event was actually all Grimm as far as we can tell. So yeah, Harry hasn't triggered one since November, and so that means that last week's surge wasn't his either. That had the brain spinning. The next was the placement for the Marauders map, and the Marauders map was a whole thing. Insert Marauders map. Harry is having some doubts as to what the heckity heck is going on. He's like, maybe I did subconsciously plot it or start this. This feels a little bit like gaslighting on the part of Hermione, which I'm not liking. Oh, you're under such a lot of stress. I wouldn't be surprised if it was all you. But it's not though. Hermione, don't do that. Here's what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna gaslight Harry right now. Okay? Here's what we're not gonna do. Obviously, Harry's gut is telling him otherwise, and he should always listen to his gut, because even in the books, when Hermione was like, it's obviously this, when she hadn't done any research yet, she was almost always wrong. She hasn't done her research yet. Well, she's probably done a lot of research, but we're researching something completely unprecedented. I should stop using that word. Everyone should stop using the word unprecedented. We understand it's unprecedented. We get it. No one's ever had to do this before. We get it. Harry obviously has some doubts, and I, of course, have some theories. Moaning Myrtle placement was another thing, and with it we find out a few things about our friend Brice. Hermione's obvious statement being obvious, something is very off there, also had me thinking. I definitely think that the unspeakable are helping Brice. I don't think that that's an unreasonable assumption. The golden egg placement gives us an indication that we have actually caught. With the golden egg placement, we find out we caught Brice. Everything's good. He hasn't even been obliviated. Like, I was really thinking that he was gonna turn up with his brain all scrambled like an egg. But hell, thank goodness that didn't happen. God damn it, Joseph! You totally spooked me. I love you. With the mermaid stained glass, we find out that Constance was a Hufflepuff prefect, and I was really sure that she was a Ravenclaw. I really was, but I was so wrong. Also, it further solidifies that Constance has a lot of self-confidence issues where she can't bathe in front of a mermaid stained glass, which, you know, it's moving. That is kind of weird. Also, it's completely open space. We're chill bathing with the rest of the prefects? Question mark? It was just the mermaid. Somebody get the hickety heck out of the prefect's bathroom if that's causing body confidence issues. God. Not what needs to happen. Constance using the same language I had just been using to describe a completely different thing, but still. That one shook me a little bit. I'm a little paranoid now. I'm fairly certain that somebody within the unspeakable has given Brice Badeaux not just evidence but also resources and probably helped him hide, so that's not great. Because if they really are starting to fulfill their great plan, that means exposing the wizarding world to muggles, which muggles have a lot more weapons now. Better weapons. They do realize this, right? I haven't started on the bonus tasks for the Brilliant event yet, but I probably will because I need those 5 DA books. I did reach level 41 in this event, which is I think that's pretty exciting. Overall, it is obvious that somebody has access to Harry's brain now that he is manipulating the Calamity. And I don't like that. That's really bad because Harry had a lot of bad crap happen to him and this is gonna get real bad. If you are at this point and you either have not started the event or you haven't finished the event, here are a couple of tips that I have for you. Definitely make liberal use of those Barufio's brain elixirs during those wizarding XPs because you will just scream right through all of those tasks. The other thing that you definitely need to do is make sure you have as short of potions brewing as possible. Whatever's in your queue, let it run out and then start on that task because holy crap, it takes a hot second. Just brew yourself some health potions and some basic stimulus and you should be fine. Other than that, the only big one that I have is that 5 images on the Triwizarding Secrets page, and that again, just reserve placing your dialogue until you're done with that. So this is a fairly innocuous event. There wasn't any wild cards that got thrown. I did get a couple of weird disconnection errors at around 3 p.m. Pacific here in Alaska, but I haven't seen any since. So I think everything's okay so far. Didn't experience any issues on the night bus, so I think we're good. I think you can proceed with caution. Everything's totally fine. Those bonus tasks, those are gonna take a hot minute. Probably gonna sit down and crank those out either tomorrow or the next day. Not entirely sure when. The 25 great casts is gonna be. What do you think of this brilliant event and the dialogue that came with it? Are your theories changing with this brilliant event? Mine kind of aren't, other than I don't like the access the Unforgivable currently have to Harry's brain. That's making me nervous. So, anywho, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Remember that I love you always. I'm gonna go finish this and put my kids to bed because it's late. And I need to get footage to Samuel before midnight. Okay, goodbye.